Question thing party. Anyway, it is up to you. Okay. So what we have seen last class. So today's class. Hope it is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, please respond. So we have discussed something about the compaction last class, 14th chapter. Okay. Now only two chapters are left. That is 13 and the 12. In this, then this stabilization drainage will not be there. Okay. Then this particular part would be in your geotechnical engineering to these things. Okay. So only two chapter left. That is 13 and the consolidation anyway. Just a definition we have seen. Okay. So it is expulsion of water from the soil. Okay, due to long-term loading. So today we'll see about the shear strength. Okay, 306. It is also very simple topic. I mean, already if you have studied your strength of material, this chapter you can do understand very easily. Okay. So this is very important topic actually. Okay, shear strength. Shear strength is generally the soil will fail in shear when the soil is in compression. When you try to apply a load, and then particular soil fails in shear. Okay, you know what is the shear and the normal stresses, tensile stresses and the principal stresses and so on. Okay, so if your concepts are clear about the principal stresses, normal stresses, shear stresses, this chapter is very easy. Same for any materials, will apply these principles only. Okay, uh, the soil generally fails in shear. Okay, whenever we try to apply a load, immediately it will shear. Okay, and it will fail. So always soil fails in shear. The when you subjected to compressive load. Okay, when it is subjected to tensile load, you could see some cracks in the embankment and so on, but this tensile stress we are not focusing. Okay, it's very minimum. So we'll just focus on the compressive strength and the shear stress. In the strength of material, we will take tensile stress as positive and compressive negative. But in the case of soil mechanics, we are neglecting tensile stresses, so we'll focus only on compressive, so that we'll take compressive force as the positive cases. Okay, so this is a very important topic, shear stress. So we already that suppose if you have a material like this, um, so this derivation you might have drawn in the case of strength of material. Okay, so there are number of planes in a material, whether it may be soil or any material. Okay, there are number of planes which is having normal stresses and the shear stresses, but we consider only three planes which are uh, subjected to only normal stresses. Okay, and shear stresses are zero. Those planes are called the principal planes, and those stresses, particular stresses, are called the principal stresses. Okay, so soil is in three-dimensional form. Okay, so all the three forces which are orthogonal to each other will act, and there would be a shear stresses. So in the first case, what we'll do is we'll neglect those shear stresses. We'll take a principal planes. Okay, and the principal stresses. Then what we do, these principal stresses, we have three planes. Okay, again what we'll do is for our convenient, we neglect the third principal minor stresses, you can say. We will consider only two stresses, and one stress would be opposite to this, you can say our laptop. Okay, one is sigma 1 is a major principal stress, sigma 3 is the minor. Okay, in between major and minor, one more principal stress would be there, that is perpendicular. Okay, so what we do is we neglecting that, and we are considering only plane strain problem, that means two-dimensional problem. Okay, so sigma 1, sigma 3. So what we'll do is we'll consider a small element. Okay, and this particular soil element is subjected to principal stresses. Sigma 1 is the major principal stress, sigma 3 is the minor principal stresses. Okay, and there is one more sigma 2 also, that what we are doing is we are neglecting it. Okay, so sigma 1 and the sigma 3 we will try to understand it. Now what we'll do is you might have seen in strength of material, when you take a small plane, okay, along this material with a theta inclined plane, and if I want to find out these normal stresses and the shear stress, what we'll do is we'll take that particular inclined wedge and we will resolve it like we have done in our strength of engineering mechanics. Okay, what are the forces acting on that particular inclined plane? Okay, inclined wedge, I would say. Okay, when you resolve it, and then after that, when you resolve it, you will get the sigma and the tau. That's our aim, right? Suppose we have some principal stresses acting. Suppose if I ask you to find out the normal stress and the shear stress in a particular plane which makes angle theta with the major principal stress plane, major principal plane. How you do find out? We resolve the forces, okay, and finally what you will get it, the sigma, and that's what it is given, and you might have known these things, okay. So shear stress, how we can find out the shear stress, which is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 sine 2 theta, that is tau. What is shear stress? Sigma 1 minus sigma 3 divided by 2, okay, sine 2 theta. This thing you should remember, okay. You should. Then what is the normal stress? Sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 cos 2 theta. That means if you know theta angle, if you know the sigma 1 and sigma 3, suppose it is asked to find out the normal and the shear stress with a plane which makes angle theta. Theta can be anything, okay, 20, 30, 40, okay, any plane we can find out this normal stresses and the shear stresses. Now coming to the our soil mechanics part, okay. So here this is fully of strength of material and mechanics of solid. Now this particular, this Morse, the Otto Morse, this fellow German scientist, what he has done is he planned these things in a Morse circle. This is very very important, very very important, okay. So what is Morse circle? They will ask in the all competitive exams in the interview. Morse circle is the graphical representation. That means whatever we have done here, we can represent with the graphics. Okay, it's a graphical method for determination of the stresses on the plane inclined to the principal plane. It is a graphical method. Okay, so in this, by using this method, what he has done is he has plotted this particular element stresses on a graph, and he says that graphical methods are very very easy and simple. Okay, so what he has done is, look at this one now. Hope this is visible, right? Please respond. Hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now what he says is Mohr circle. Okay. Today we'll focus on the fully on the Mohr circle. Okay. You should read this chapter after going after this class. Okay. Very 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 simple and very very important topic in shear strength. Okay. So all the soil, whatever we do for soil mechanics is generally for finding the shear strength only. Okay, there are so many methods available to find the shear strength in the laboratory. We have so many tests, direct shear test, cyclic triaxial test, and so many tests we have in the laboratory to find out the shear strength. Okay, today we'll focus on the Mohr circle actually. So what Mohr says is x-axis he has chosen as the normal stresses, which is positive. Okay, shear stresses which is counterclockwise he has taken as positive. So shear stresses and the on the y-axis, and normal stresses he has chosen in the x-axis. Okay, so he has plotted the graph. First he plotted the axis x and the y. X-axis is normal stresses sigma, y is the tau shear. Okay, then what he has done is whatever principal stresses we are having, right? Sigma 1 is, he has first plotted sigma 1. Okay, that is at the point F is sigma 1. Okay, and sigma 3 at the point E. Understand? the normal stresses, we have taken only two stresses. One is major principal stress. One is minor sigma 1 and the sigma 3. Sigma 2 we are neglecting. Okay, sigma 1 is major principal stress. Sigma 3 is the minor principal stress. Both he has plotted F and the E point. Then what he has done is he has chosen the middle of this one. Okay, that is point C, which is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. Okay, so that is the middle one, middle point. And with that middle point, he has drawn a circle. That means with C point, he has drawn a circle which touches the major principal stress and the minor principal stress, middle of that, which is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. Sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 has drawn a circle. Now, if I ask you one question, okay, the point on the Mohr circle represents what?
Shear stress and
Shear
normal
stresses and
at a point
yes, normal stress
at an angle.
on a particular plane.
Yes, sir.
Now, what he has done is same theta he has taken and he has drawn that plane which touches at the point of D. Understand? Same plane he has taken, whatever we have done here, same theta he has taken, drawn this plane. Now, at the point D, when you take a vertical drop here, H, this represent what? Shear stress, tau, whatever we got it. And the point OH represents what? Sigma, whatever we got it. And obviously this angle will be 2 theta, okay? So, hope you got it. What he has done is, x-axis normal stresses, y-axis shear stresses he has taken. So now we know the maximum principal stress sigma 1, we know the minimum minor principal stress sigma 3. He located the point. From the middle C here, what we can do is we can draw a Mohr circle. Okay, that now point on the Mohr circle represents normal stress and the shear stress on a particular plane, inclined plane, which is uh, theta degree to the major principal plane, any theta. Now D, whatever D point is, whatever theta what we are taken here, shear stress whatever you get it is equal to the shear stress what we got it there, and OH is equal to the normal stress at the which plane? Theta plane. Now here again when you draw the point here at point E, okay, when you draw a small vertical line here which is having a minor principal plane, which is called the minor principal plane, or this particular point is called pole also. Okay, it is mentioned here. The point E is a unique point which is known as the pole. They will ask in the all competitive exam what is pole and all, okay, or origin of plane. If a plane is drawn from any point D on the Mohr circle parallel to the plane, say AB, whose stresses are represented by the point, it will be intersect the circle in the point pole P. So this particular point is called the pole, and this, if you draw a line, is the minor principal plane. Okay. So likewise, we can find out the normal stresses, shear stresses by using this Mohr circle. Now one more example I'll give you. Okay. Anyway, this when it become plane, I will leave it to you. Okay, as a homework. Now you focus on this one now. Stress system with vertical and horizontal plane, not a principal plane. That means till now whatever we have seen, sigma 1, sigma 3, sigma 2, anyway we are neglecting. Okay, sigma 1, sigma 2 are the principal stresses and the principal planes. Okay, now because it is not possible that all the planes are principal planes, okay, in our soil or in our any material. Suppose if you have the shear stresses along this one, the tau xy, okay, and the tau yx, and all these stresses if we have it here, Okay, then how we can find out this normal stress sigma and the tau in this wedge A, B, C? How we can find out? What is the difference here? Not only sigma 1 or instead of the sigma x, here sigma y. Okay, sigma y we call it, this is sigma x. Sigma, this is a major principal stress, this is a minor. Okay, and in addition to that, if we have shear also along that particular plane, it is not a principal plane now, not the principal plane. In that case, what will happen? Again, we'll try with this. Okay, what we'll do is here you try to draw. Okay, you try to sigma x, you try to draw sigma here, sigma 1, sigma 3, whatever we have. But here these are not the principal stresses. Okay, then it will come somewhere here and somewhere here. Then we'll take this as the point and again draw a circle here. Okay, so this what we'll do is now look at this one, how it is plotted. Already this thing you might have studied, and finally what you will get it here is tau. You will get it as sigma y, that is minus sigma x divided by 2 sine 2 theta minus tau, this extra term, minus tau xy cos 2 theta. Okay, then what about this one? Sigma is equal to that. Let me check where it is. So this you have to take it out here. Okay, okay, here sigma is equal to, you minus term you take it here, sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma y minus sigma x divided by 2 cos 2 theta plus this term would be there, tau xy sin 2 theta. So likewise we can find out the tau and this one sigma. So what we are doing here is we are finding the tau and the sigma. Okay, then what will happen, you will make it a 0 and so on. Okay, so anyway, this simple mathematics only, we can go through it, this one. Okay, there is no problem at all. So here now look at this one. So ABC, in which the vertical and the horizontal plane BC and AC are subjected to shear stresses in addition to the normal stresses, hence these planes are not principal planes. The stresses on the AB plane inclined at theta to the AC. Okay, and can be determined from the equilibrium of the forces, resolving the forces in the x and the y direction. That's what the same thing they have done it. Okay, and what they will do is you will get this after resolving the forces. After same thing we'll make it, then this term would be sigma xy, here would be sigma y, and this is the sigma x, and but this is this the sigma 3 and the sigma 1 are the maximum measure principal stresses. Okay, measure, and sigma 3 is a minor, so these are in between. Okay, when you draw in between, what you do is measure and minor, you just draw the graphical representation, and this would be sigma y. Okay, and this would be tau x. Okay, then what you will get it here after drawing it. Okay, so you will resolve the forces. Finally you will get this one, sigma AB sin theta is equal to sigma x. Just resolve the forces. Okay, then finally what you will get it, as I shown, you will get it this one, sigma is equal to, this is very again important equations. Okay, then tau is equal to this one. Now what they have done is, after that, see, this is tau, that's our aim. Okay, sigma we got it and the tau we got it. Okay, sigma we got it. Here what is the difference? This is the extra term, sigma y minus sigma x by 2 sin 2 theta, or sigma 1 minus sigma 3, like that last time you got it, sigma 1 minus sigma 3 divided by 2 sin theta was the actual relationship. Okay, here what you will get it sigma y minus sigma x divided by 2 sine 2 theta minus tau x v cos 2 theta. This is the extra term we will get it. Here what extra term you will get it here? Same thing. That whatever we have derived sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 cos 2 theta. That's what we have derived. Here sigma x plus sigma y by 2 sigma y minus sigma x divided by cos 2 theta. This extra term will come. Tau xy sine 2 theta will come here. This is sigma. So what we have done here, what we have done is we have considered the tau xy also in addition to the principal stresses. Okay, so we assume that all the stresses, all the planes are not principal planes. There would be some shear stresses there. Those shear stresses we assume as it's tau xy, and that's the reason these two tau xy will come into picture. Understand? Now again what they have given is equation 13.2 stress on a plane AB. Okay, and this 13.3, where is that 13.3 can be again they have written in this way. Okay, Mohr circle squaring equation 13.3 and 13.4, this equation they are squaring it by based on the Mohr circle. Okay, diagonal. So what they have done is after squaring you will get these equations, and finally you will get this equation. Then construction of Mohr circle it is given, whatever I have explained. Okay, and then finally what you will get it is I will tell you what are the things you need to remember here. You remember these equations. Okay, sigma is equal to, that means suppose I want to find out the sigma knowing all these parameters we can find out, or suppose I want to find out the sigma 1 knowing these parameters, sigma x, sigma y, all these if you know we can find out this sigma 1, sigma 3 also we can find out, or whatever parameter it is given. Okay, sigma x, sigma y it is given, then we can find out these things. So all together we can find out. Here it is mentioned in this importance of characteristic of Mohr circle here. Okay, so what exactly the Mohr circle is all about. Okay, so here these characteristics are very, very important. 7 characteristics, we will read it. Okay, so previous things whatever you studied is everything there in strength of material. Okay, so nothing new about it, just resolve the forces, you will get it. What we have done is we wanted to find out the normal stress and the shear stress along any plane which is having theta degree to the major principal stress. Okay, first case we have considered only principal stresses and principal plane. In the second cases what we have done is shear also we have considered, that is tau xy, and we have derived it. That's the only thing they have done it. Okay, now coming to the importance of the characteristic of Mohr circle. Suppose if they ask in any exam, what are the important characteristic of the Mohr circle? As I said, the following be carefully noted as these are the required for further study. The maximum shear stress, very, very important. These 7 points are very, very important. Okay, I'll explain you what it is. Look at these things, already we know that. Okay, Mohr circle is there, this is sigma 1, this is sigma 3, half of this one sigma 1 plus sigma 2, and this is the tau shear. And what are the other terms which has come now? Okay, this is the maximum shear, already we know that. This is the point D also we know that. Okay, and so on. Now based on this, what are the important characteristics we can draw from this figure? One is the maximum shear stress, very, very important, just listen very carefully. Okay, other things are included in strength of material. Okay, now what is the characteristic of a Mohr circle? The maximum shear stress tau max is numerically equal to, we know that numerically equal to this radius of the circle, sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2, and it occurs on a plane inclined at 45 degrees to the principal plane. That means this whatever you see, okay, this maximum stress will, the maximum shear stress tau max is numerically equal, and it occurs on a plane which is inclined at 45 degrees to the principal plane. Is it not? It is 45 degrees to the principal plane. Now Now, the point D on a Mohr circle represent that already we have seen tau, sigma and tau on a plane which make an angle theta with the measure principle. So any theta, okay. So theta with the measure principle stress. Next, the resultant stress on the plane is equal to the sigma square plus tau square root, the resultant stresses, okay. So how we can find out the resultant stresses? Already we can find out, and its angle, okay, its angle will be this particular obliquity angle, okay, angle of obliquity with a normal to the plane which is equal to angle beta given by this. We can write it in this way, right? So if you see first figure here, this is the D point, this is the diagonal, okay. This is the diagonal which makes angle beta, okay. This is the angle which makes angle beta, which is equal to tau square plus OH square, the sigma square, okay. That's what it is given. And that is beta. The maximum angle beta max is obtained by drawing a tangent to the. So here beta may be somewhere here, the D point, okay, D point somewhere here. But when the maximum beta will get it, when we'll get it, when you draw tangent to the this Mohr circle. When you draw tangent, then only this beta would be maximum, beta max. That's what it is given, okay. So the maximum angle of obliquity beta max is obtained by drawing a tangent to the circle, okay. Next, shear stress tau f on a plane of a maximum obliquity is less than the maximum shear stress. Here whatever shear stress angle may be maximum, but whatever shear stress you will get it here. Here also will get one shear stress and normal stress, right? Tau f and sigma, here also you will get it. Tau f, here tau, and the sigma whatever you get it will be less than this tau max. Understand? The shear stress on the the shear stress tau f on a plane of maximum obliquity is less than the maximum shear stress, that is tau max. Shear stress on a plane at the right angle to each other are numerically equal but are opposite in the sign. Shear stress on a plane at right angle to each are numerically equal but are opposite in the sign, okay, shown in the 13 point C. Where is the 13 point C? Yeah, opposite, and when you draw a Mohr circle, okay, so here it is going this direction, this is in this direction, so the shear stresses would be always opposite to each other. That's what is the meaning is, okay. Then Mohr circle is symmetric about the axis and it is equal. So generally this is symmetric, that's why what we'll do is we'll draw a half circle only. In near future we will see all the problems. We will not draw full circle now, we will draw a half circle because it is symmetric, okay. Only half circle for our convenience, okay. So there is no need to be rigid about the sign convention for a plotting a shear stresses in Mohr circle. There can be plotted either upward or a downward, although the sign convention is required. So we know that y-axis would be shear and the x would be normal. So it can be plotted up or it can be down and so on. So if you see from now here, you could see all the half circle only. See, look at all half circle we have drawn now. So no need to draw full circle. So this is all about this Mohr circle, okay. Whatever we have studied is we can draw a Mohr circle, okay. Point on the Mohr circle represents what it represents, normal stress and the shear stress, okay. And like whatever we are studying in the principal stresses in our mechanics of solid, same thing we can apply here by using Mohr circle. We can plot the Mohr circle, whether it is having normal stresses or shear stresses also we can plot it, and from that we can find out, okay. And what are the characteristic of Mohr circle? It's not necessary that whatever tau max you will get it, the angle of obliquity is Bmax wherever it touches, not necessary that it is a maximum shear stress. Okay, and it is convenient to draw the half Mohr circle. Okay, instead of bottom down negative sign, it is generally it is half of the Mohr circle is drawn. Okay, so with that I'll stop today. Maybe how generally we will find out this shear strength of a soil in the laboratory, in the field, and so on, and what are other things involved. Okay, how generally we find out this. We will draw more circle in the laboratory test also. We have some tests we'll conduct. Okay, sigma 1, sigma 3 we'll try to apply in the laboratory also. Okay, on a soil sample. Okay, then we can, once we know sigma 1, sigma 3, sigma 1, sigma 3. Okay, and tau, if you know, we can plot a graph more circle. Okay, so it is also one of the important chapter, and I want you to read it. So with that I'll stop today. So I have recorded it.